Greetings. Are we portrait or we landscape? Yo, this is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. So, I'm in the process of moving. Hey, what's going on? And setting up my stuff here. So just unpacked a lot of my books, and I figured that this would be a good time to do somewhat of a book list, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll be able to change this a bit. Give me just a second. Greetings. So yeah, basically, this is just gonna be a little bit of a book list kind of video. So if we look down here, I've got a lot of this stuff. So over here, I sorted out so far like a lot of the grimoires, occult type of evocation books and things like that. Of course, we got the classic Demons of Magic. To me, this is probably my favorite book concerning the 72 Demons of the Goetia. I like it because it has path working with each goetic spirit, right? So it's got a personalized sigil along with the words of power in Hebrew, which is highly useful. And of course, I pull it open to Citri, one of my favorite of the 72. But the reason I like this book is because it gives you multiple uses for each spirit. Because really, when you deal with the Goetia, you're going to get a different result depending on who you are. But in general, we all know that Citri deals with getting laid. But yeah, like I said, a good thing of keys, which is essentially path working for each of the spirits, that makes access so much easier. But yeah, Magical Attack, written by the same author, Gordon Winterfield. This is really good if you need to get your revenge, you know what I'm saying, or get somebody off your back or that type of thing. Summoning Spirits is a really good book that really details the art of evocation in not so much of a ceremonial, cut and dry, boring way, right? It allows you to jazz it up and use your imagination, so that one's really cool. Necronomicon gives a little bit of the history of ceremonial magic and evocation and that type of thing. It's a pretty decent book. Of course, I love creating magical entities. This one gives you excellent step-by-step information on how to create your entity and all the things that come along with that type of deal. We got Lucifer and the Hidden Demons. This one's really nice also because it's a book that's strictly based on path working, right? So it doesn't depend on you doing this intense, boring, slow ritual. You get straight to the imagination. Awesome book. This pile right here is my Demonalty pile. I say Demonalty because S. Connolly, that's her specialty. This is her book on the Goetia. I really like it because with each of the 72 descriptions it gives the original purpose, which is useful, you know, because you always want to get the, you always want to cross-reference with the original. What up, Dream? And it also gives you the author's notes, which is pretty much her interpretation of, you know, what the spirit does. So this is a good one for the Goetia. But of course, my favorite, until I write my own, is this one here. All right, now she also has prosperity magic. I've used a few rituals from here, and they definitely work as far as getting money. Wealth magic is good. Also, it's decent. Really, when I was working with this, I combined rituals from the two and made up my own. So, you know, magical seduction. Hey, I was already getting results before this book, but I'm sure it works pretty well for those who haven't tried it yet. All right, so that's my demonic pile. This is my Goetia demon entities. Right here is like the Necronomicon pile. This is your classic Necronomicon. For those of you who are asking, you know, which one should I get? Just get the basic one. It looks the same. You know, and this one is the Necronomicon Gates. It goes a bit more in detail as far as the rituals of walking the gates, which is basically path working, but it's kind of slow, kind of boring, but if that's what you want to do, go for it. Right here gives a little bit of more depth on the Necronomicon, right? This one talks more about different rituals. This is more recent. Didn't really like it as much, but it's still a good book. Don't just take my word for it. You know, check it out if you're interested in the Necronomicon. Wow, we're on 33 viewers. Awesome. 33, that's that number. But this one also gives a lot of history on the Necronomicon, a lot of the different books written about the Necronomicon. So if you're looking for a certain topic dealing with the Necronomicon, here you go. All right. Also, this one right here, the Cthulhu Mythos Encyclopedia. This one also gives you a lot of detail on the background of what's going on with Cthulhu and all his homies, which are just another way to get through with, you know, melanin and subconscious mind and all that jazz. Speaking of subconscious mind, I've got that stack right over here. But since we're in the demon pile, what's up, Black Dragon Paranormal? Yeah, right. Yeah, so I got my Angelic Pile over here, which is really just 2 books. But this one right here is all you need when dealing with the 72. Peace, Jersey Dread. What up, Ulysses Smoot? This is the Enochian Evocation of Dr. John D. I didn't really like that one, but, you know, it's okay. I don't like the long, drawn-out ceremonial stuff. I like to just get right to the action. All right, so close to the angelic stuff, we've got the self-defense pile, right? 2 of my favorite books dealing with that subject is Psychic Self-Defense by Dionne Fortune. I love, love, love her as an author. She's my favorite. Which type of girls do I like seducing? Well, see, if I say that, I'm going to incriminate myself, so I'm going to keep that to myself. I like all females, though. Here we go. Protection and reversal magic. This one's really good also. It's got a few rituals that you can use that are quick, easy, and good to go. Crystal Power. This one's pretty sweet. It digs a little bit into psionics. It does give a lot of crafts that you can build. You don't necessarily need to do that, but it helps you to get used to training your mind to focus your energy. Crystal Warrior. I didn't quite get into this one yet, but it goes more on the warrior aspect of using these crystals. Pretty cool books. All right, so we got the Crystal Pile, the self-defense. Which one is... Are we back? Are we back? Yes, we're back. Okay, so yeah, Ulysses, you're asking about which one is good for mind control. You know, go ahead, experience to use for that. But really, we've got this Mind Control 101, how to influence the thoughts and actions of others without them knowing or caring. And basically, it's a compilation of a lot of different techniques. When I first found this book, I was like, oh, sweet, this gives everything you need to know. But no, this one is really just surface level. It gets a lot deeper. But yeah, written by Dan Jones, Dan Spirit of Mind Control. But yeah, dealing with the subconscious mind. If you want to, hey, what's good? What's good? Do you prefer books or PDFs? I prefer books because I like to have my hands on them and flip through the pages. I like tactile sensation. With the PDFs, I get distracted too easily with Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, the subconscious and the superconscious planes of mind. This one is really awesome, and it's a short book, but it gets into a little bit of the scientific and the philosophy of the subconscious mind. Therion Q. Dumont is actually the same person as William Walker Atkinson, but he's had so much information to put out, he had to put it out in 2 different pen names. But this is actually a compilation of like 6 books. Holy cow. Of course, I did not get through all that just yet. But if you can just look at the titles in some of those books, yeah. Let's see. Can you utilize the energy of each demon without actually summoning them? Of course. If you just look at my, go back into the videos, the 2 videos that I did as far as the prosperity ritual and the protection ritual, those are pretty much going through using the goetic spirits without actually summoning them. So yeah, you can just tap into the energy. It's up to you how deep you want to go with the energy. You know what I'm saying? You can go all the way to possession level if you want, or you can just do a little bit of surface level, just kind of tap into them. Yeah, man, y'all follow Love Live Life, man. Dude is on point with the channels, with the information, with the decoding. Definitely follow Dreamwise at Love Live Life. What up, Vince? Let's see. Yeah, I went Amazon, read a super big tax return, you know, and I spent it all on books. What can I say? Possession level. Just finished the Cthulhu Love, Words of Powers are good all-around book explaining the occult. No, because the occult is so deep, man. It's so deep. You have to pick a subject and dig in, really. But my collection is over a few years, and I kind of got more of a handle on what I like to focus on, which is the subconscious mind and the stuff that's found into this very hard to find book here. Thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate that. But yeah, as far as the subconscious mind, it really relates to symbols, decoding, and the pile over there. But speaking of the dream world and the subconscious mind, that's actually right next to the astral projection pile. To me, this is probably the most influential book on astral projection, The Art and Practice of Astral Projection by Ophiel. Love it, love it, love it. These three on a previous video that I did. These are really good. Speaking of path working with this guy right here, the art and practice of creative visualization is great for training you how to do effective path working and visualization. So if you're really interested in having magical results with these rituals without having to go through a long ass ceremony, get this right here, which is creative visualization, and also get Lucifer and the Hidden Demons, right? And get Demons of Magic. Those three books will show you how to do these rituals without having to, get so intense with the candles and the robes and all that stuff. Unless you want to do that. Which is perfectly fine. Is 101 the only book on mind control? Hell no. But it is the only one that I care to share right now because, I like to roll this stuff out real slowly. Fuck it. Let's get to it. Right next to the subconscious mind pile, we have what I call the Nlp Pile, which is like the science of the subconscious mind and really breaking down how to communicate with people on a deeper level than just words. Big book of NLP, expanded techniques, words that change minds. It really teaches you how to connect with people on a deeper level. And so here's the thing. Before you start getting into this stuff, you really, 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 really got to fix yourself, man. Because like a lot of people just want to control others because hurting people or whatever. If your mind isn't balanced, you're going to end up hurting yourself. You're going to end up ruining your life if you don't know what you're doing. So when you're dealing with other people's minds, you got to understand it's very delicate because people are still growing. People are still learning. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, when you're tapping into the subconscious, what you put out into the universe definitely comes back to you. So things like Just Listen, all right? These are books written by psychologists, and it really talks about how to connect with people on a deep level. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna give you some of these, not all of them. Some of them are actually kind of hard to find, but I'm telling you, if you dip into it, your life will change completely because it'll change how you connect with people. You know what I'm saying? When you see that we communicate on a trigger-based, level, it really changes how you see other people's personalities, right? When you can predict how people are gonna react to you, it really changes shit like that. So, like I said, you wanna really fix yourself. That's why a lot of my videos are focused on getting rid of your past traumas, working on yourself, this, that, and the third, because the higher you go into this magic and this spiritual ability, the balance is very sensitive, very sensitive. All right, so yeah. The author to really look up is Richard Bandler. He's one of the OGs of this stuff. Like I said, this right here is just surface level. This is just like, if you're just cracking into it. But really, if you want to know about it, this is the subject. So let's move on to more of the magical stuff. Aleister Crowley. Yeah, you say meditating. So over here we got my Buddhism pile. In the Buddha's Words is a great book if you're just getting into Buddhism and you want to understand the mind of the Buddha and what he talked about. Great stuff. Great stuff. This is a really good one. This one really teaches about the meditation style that I learned called Vipassana. And it has interviews with 12 different masters of this meditation style, Vipassana. And yeah, you just get their outlook on life. Yeah, that basic magic book is extremely hard to find, but crazy, this is probably the most valuable book in my collection, right? This book really sums up everything that I have here, the more that I read. The Island is a really good book that's a collection of the Buddhist teachings. Mastery of Awareness is the next part of the Four Agreements book, if you've ever heard of that. I bought this book, Chode, because I thought I was reading about how it represented like the dark side of Buddhism, which there actually is a dark side and occult side of Buddhism and stuff like that. But this only kind of brushes the surface level of that. Let's see. And over here we've got, you know, of course, the Christian Bible. This is my Bible that's worn out because I go through it so much. I got things highlighted and circled. Great book. You know what I'm saying? I'm not big on Christianity as people and a culture, but all of these books have deep teachings in it. You know what I'm saying? All these books have meaning that can be used. I first learned mantras and visualization and spells from this book, right? Of course, we got the classic Quran. You know, I got to have the Supreme Lessons by Farah Muhammad and also The Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad. Classic books. Speaking of which, we got Lucifer and Ahriman by Rudolf Steiner. Good stuff. I don't have a book on unicorn. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm not going to show you my unicorn pile. But this is the philosophy stuff right here. Also, we got my astrology section here, the complete book of astrology. This really breaks down the basics of it, you know, as far as how the planets line up, what each of the signs mean, what each of the houses mean, and things like that, just to get a basic understanding of it. This talks about a lost astrological practice where they get into Chiron and how it relates to the wounded warrior, the wounded lover, and stuff like that. Not as effective anymore because the ephemeris is outdated, but it has a lot of good information on certain configurations from when you're born, like the triangle, the cross of power, and all that stuff, whatever. Stowe's Bible Astrology connects the dots if you want to know how the Bible is an astrological book. I mean, it relates the birth and the life of Christ to the path of the stars, right? It talks about how the mind, oh, sweet. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Dream. This talks about how the 12 signs of the Zodiac relate to the mind, how it relates to the life of Christ and the Bible. To prove that it is a symbolic book, it talks about how the books of the Bible are lined up with the Zodiac. You know what I'm saying? You got Gemini, which was Adam and Eve. You got Taurus, which was the golden calf. You got Aries, which was the ram that was sacrificed in the thicket. Of course, you got Pisces, which was Christ. You got the age of Aquarius, this is where we are now. And it talks about how, you know, the last cycle will be Scorpio. But anyways, great book to really break that stuff down. Secret Language of Birthdays. This one right here is powerful. Very powerful. Like, I showed the last one is called Stowe's Bible Astrology. I think this one might also be rare. You might be able to find it. I think it's out of print or something like that. But yeah, the Secret Language of Birthdays. This one was always on my table at my last place. Anybody who came through the house, you know what I'm saying, we flipped to their page, and no one has ever told me it was wrong. This is accurate. It was written by an occultist and a psychologist, and it took him over like 20, 30 years to write, but it compiles every single day, no matter what day you're born on, your day is in here, and it is accurate. I promise you it's accurate. Now, if you want to know how he did it, he also wrote personology, and that really breaks a lot of how he actually came to the configurations based on the day that you're born. So depending on what day that you're born in the year, you know what I'm saying, from 35 all the way up, it tells you where the planets were. And what you do is basically you go back and you figure out where your Mars was, you know what I'm saying, and da-da-da-da-da. This is how, if you want to teach yourself how to do some effective astrology type shit. This book right here, The Secret Language of Birthdays, Relationships, all those, Gary Goldschneider. Check that one out. Astrology, Psychology, and the Four Elements breaks down how astrology is related to psychology and the Four Elements, of course. Bobby Hemmett recommended this book. It's a great one here. He also recommended this one, The Dream and the Underworld, which connects the underworld to the subconscious mind. A lot of these actually came from Bobby Hemmett recommendations, and if not Bobby Hemmett, then of course the God Brother Panic. Yo, Black Dragon, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. The Origin of Occult Civilization. This one goes into a lot of different topics. So really, if you are somewhat of a beginner and don't have much of a book collection, this one kind of goes into multiple of these book stacks that I showed you. I mean, he's got a Necronomicon section, he's got a Goetia section, he's got the chakras, pretty much all these different piles I showed you. A lot of that stuff is summed up in here. This book is full of so much information, it's impossible to read in one sitting. So how long do we have to set up an altar for a loved one before they incarnate back to 3D? Really an altar is for you, right? You can do it immediately. You know what I'm saying? Go to the funeral and get one of those, the pamphlets that they have where it talks about their life and stuff like that, and set that on your altar. You know what I'm saying? Set a candle, send them positive vibrations, positive meditations, and just keep them in your memory. Make that a symbol of their spirit. So every time you see it, every time you walk past it and that type of thing, you can give them positive energy. But you don't have to wait, because the spirit, hell, you can do it while they're alive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, an altar for a loved one, for an ancestor, is really more for you than it is for them. When you're giving offerings on that altar and things like that, that energy is helping to relieve yourself in connection with them, but it also does attract them to you. So my mom died in 86. How I know she didn't come. Reconnecting. Okay, I think we're back. So yeah, this is another one of my favorite sections, the section of encyclopedias. Because look, this is the reference. What up? Peace, Stray Panther. This is the cross reference, you know what I'm saying? So you never want to just take one source of information as your source of information. It's just like business. You got to have multiple streams of income before you can really consider yourself, before you can have stable wealth. So the same way as how I think about information, that's why I have so many books. I don't just take one person's word for something. You got the Woman's Dictionary. And again, you don't want to limit to yourself to just one thing. You know what I'm saying? Get the Woman's Dictionary, even if you're not a woman, it doesn't matter, right? Get the Encyclopedia of the Undead, even if it's got a cheesy, cringe-ass cover. Still, it's got information in it, right? Field Guide to Demons, right? Encyclopedia of Spirits. That is an awesome book. Please get it. Also here, Ancient Deities. This one has a lot of different spirits in it. I think it is actually pretty expensive, so there is a PDF, I don't know. But this is a great one, Dictionary of Ancient Deities, powerful book. Pacific mythology, right? I'm not from the Pacific, but it's got a lot of myths from that culture. So when you see movies like Moana come out, right, and different movies that deal with the islands of the Pacific, you can get a background on a lot of these deities, right? Complete book of Witchcraft. A lot of people don't really like Buckland. I don't really care what people say. I like information. So this is a good one if you're a starter, a beginner, right? To get into paganism and ceremonial magic and that type of thing. Book of Spirit Communications is also a compendium of different methods of starting and getting into spirit communications. Magic workbook. Not gonna lie, I didn't go through this book, but it's got a cool cover. This one here is The Black Folder, edited by Kat Irwande. She deals a lot with voodoo, right? And this is basically a compilation of a lot of different recipes and different things that she's written and done over the years. It's not in order, sadly, but really, when I need something that deals with voodoo, I kind of just flip through here and I find what I need. That's the magic of having books like this. Sometimes you don't even have to read the whole thing. You just flip to the page that you need when you need it, if you're in tune with spirit. This one here is a pretty decent compilation of different things, spells and ceremonies and high magic. Not too spectacular, but it's a decent book. What is spectacular and what is a must-have for anyone who watches my channel is the Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia, because this has a lot of information of everything involving the Tree of Life, Kabbalah, the Goetia, the Shemhan Mefrosh, and different things of that nature. Speaking of the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, got my Kabbalah section here. All right, Sefer Yetzirah for that high magic. If you're really trying to make a golem come to life, if you're really trying to understand how the forces and the energies of nature works, this is what you want to get. All right, this is a deep one. Not an easy read though. All right, Mystical Kabbalah, again by my favorite author, Dionne Fortune. Not an easy read, but a lot easier to read than the Sefer Yetzirah. This really details how the energy flows up and down the Tree of Life, what each of the spheres mean. And every time I open this book, I learn something new. You know what I'm saying? It's so fucking deep, so deep. I can have a whole channel just based off of this book alone. But it talks about how energy is structured. You know what I'm saying? How these ideas and how these thought forms and how all this stuff works. Right? Mystical Kabbalah by Dionne Fortune. I saw a lot of people in the Major Society have recently purchased this. Excellent book. You don't need to know Hebrew to really get into Kabbalah, but it does help a little bit to get the symbolism of a lot of these different words. High Magic by Frater UD. I haven't read that book, so I can't really speak on it, Steve Kitching. The Power of Kabbalah. This is a really decent kind of a beginner level. I mean, not too beginner level where it's basic, but it really breaks it down to where a person who was previously a Christian or not really into the occult can start to understand the flow of Kabbalah. What? It's on Audible? Whoa. And you have a weird profile picture on Stints. Sweet. I got to check out that audiobook. Yeah, man, she explains it perfectly. That's why I love Dionne Fortune. Like, yeah, I'd love to meet her if she was still alive. Maybe I can meet up with her in the astral plane. But anyways, Ophiel, another favorite authors, has also written a book about Kabbalah magic. This, I like the way he breaks it down. It's a little bit different, but it's a pretty awesome book. Okay. Golden Dawn. This was over in my encyclopedia section, but I figured it'd be a little bit better over here with the Kabbalah stuff. Speaking of the Kabbalah and the 7 Hermetic principles and all that stuff, the Golden Dawn Hermetics, initiation into Hermetics, right? For these people who want to learn how to do physical powers and abilities and all that stuff, this book teaches you how to do this stuff slowly, right? Slowly and gradually is the way to do it. I wouldn't, again, just like the neuro-linguistic programming, subconscious psychology, mind control books, the deeper you get into this stuff, you realize why you need to fix and balance your own mind. It's not about having power over people. It's about having power over yourself. Because the more that you, it's just like what they say about martial arts. You know, the more that you gain the abilities and the powers to do these things, you don't seek opportunities to use them, right? You seek to be nonviolent, right? The more that you learn how to manipulate the subconscious mind of other people, the less you find a desire to do so. It's more about yourself. But yeah, the Kabbalion, another staple. Gotta have this one. Gotta understand the 7 Hermetic principles, the laws of how the universe works. You feel me? So this is kind of like the surface level of it. It's still very deep, don't get me wrong. But this goes even deeper into it. Trust me. All right. Now, on the human side of things, because you gotta balance it out. I got my Pimpology style books, you know what I'm saying? Pimp and Ken, 48 Laws of the Game. And this really teaches you how to operate as a businessman in the real world, right? Because a lot of us are so influenced by emotions. You got to break free of that pattern because the system pimps you. You got to learn how the system works in order to overcome the system. On that same note, The 21 Keys of Success by Rick Ross, the original Rick Ross, not the rapper. He was the biggest coke drug lord in America. But again, this book really teaches you a lot of the basic principles of how to conduct yourself as a businessman in this country. Now, I don't have the book in my pile sorted out just yet, but the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, again, is an excellent book on how to conduct yourself masterfully. And he gets even deeper into that in this book called Mastery. This is something that you want to have in your library to improve yourself as a human being, as an adult, right? To really conduct yourself properly out here. Secrets of Power Negotiating, right? Arguing is for fools. Well, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be too judgmental here. Don't get me wrong. But if you can avoid an argument, do so. What's the point? You're not going to convince anybody of anything. Where's that change mind, right? Where's that change minds? It's not about arguing and proving yourself right. What's the point in doing that? You're going to walk away with a little bit of pride and an inflated ego. And even if you do force the other person to agree, they're going to have negative feelings towards you. You want to find a common ground with people and connect that way, right? Water is the best way to compare it. You want to flow because water over time, it's not forceful, it's gradual, it's slow, it's consistent. But yeah, that's my human pile. This is my internet marketing pile, you know what I'm saying? YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell. For those of you out there who are trying to do YouTube or social media and that type of thing, just like this magic, get your research on. Nobody just cuts on the camera and all of a sudden they're doing their thing. Like, you got to learn 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane, How I Built a Massive Social Following in 30 Days. This is a really good book as far as teaching you how each one of the social media networks operate, all right? It's not just about posting pictures and it's not just about posting memes. You really have to connect with people, all right? So this is why having a background in psychology works. You got to connect with people. You got to have a conversation. You got to relate to people. You got to get in tune with people and share. You know what I'm saying? It's about sharing. It's about having a human connection. Now, as far as No Gary V, I don't have his book, but I'm working on that a little bit later. I'm more into like Russell Brunson and what's that dude's name? Alex Becker and those type of dudes. But anyways, .com Secrets really teaches you a lot about email marketing. Expert Secrets also teaches you how to launch a product on the internet. Mechanism of Success, Attracting the Life That You Want. Again, these are excellent books as far as how to conduct yourself properly in business. It's not about scamming people. It's not about scheming people. It's about providing stuff that people actually want. It's a give and a take. Like, it's a balance. It's a balance. But I think I covered everything that I've got laid out. One of the books that's covered up here about the subconscious mind that you want to get also is Hidden Power, right? How to Unleash the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Excellent book. Just like Think and Grow Rich, which I also don't have out here yet. Still got a lot that is not fully unpacked. Got to fill up these two bookshelves. But yeah, since I was unpacking and everything, I figured I'd do a quick little book list. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the process of moving, so that's why I really haven't come out with a video yet. Trying to get everything underway so I can get back to doing that. But yeah, this should give you a little bit of research and direction as far as books are concerned. When I pack the other half of my books, then maybe I'll do another run through. But these are just like the real important ones to me. These are my favorites. Probably the most important ones, the most favorite ones are the ones like this that you can't really get. I mean, you can get it. It's just extraordinarily expensive. Basic Magic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll be the one to make a PDF for this. I don't know. But in the meantime, go ahead and get The Magician by the same author, Philip Cooper. Covers a lot of the same aspects. I actually think The Magician is thicker, a little bit bigger. And of course, I got a lot of other books about evocation and the Goetia, like books by Michael W. Ford, books by E.A. Coetting, Aleister Crowley, Kenneth Grant, different things like that. So yeah, man, research. It's not just about collecting the books. Like, actually read them. You know what I'm saying? Actually dig into them. You're going to find things that really change your perspective. And like I said, cross-reference. Don't just go off of one thing. Cross-reference multiple sources and really put together your own meaning behind this stuff. So yeah, I don't have any clothes on. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Peace.